Hello my friends! Today we are, after a long time, getting back to a theme that kind of has been abandoned on my channel for a bit, and I feel a tiny bit bad about that, which is making stuff and DIY. Today what I want to show you is this, and you can see there's my amazing face on it and Simon's face on it, and no, it's not some sort of wedding album, but it is close because it is in fact a scrapbook of pictures of my life since I moved to Scotland. And this is not just something kind of like self-centeredly, narcissistically making for myself. It is actually a present for my mom's birthday, because tomorrow I'm flying to Prague just kind of for a couple of nights to give my mom this present, you know, tell her happy birthday, spend some time with my family. And yeah, I thought she would appreciate this because she's always been the sort of mom that, you know, puts a lot of time and energy into making these sort of scrapbooky photo albums. This photo album I got at TK Maxx. I think it was about like £7 or something. What I liked is that this one, with a bit of imagination, actually feels really modern. I think that this pattern is actually quite nice and graphic, you know. It's not something that necessarily screams like this is handmade. It has this little bow here, and I think it has about 22 double pages, you know, to put your photo spreads over, which is quite a lot. I thought it was less, and I thought I would run out of space, but I did not. I actually do have a bit of space left, but maybe that's for a couple of years to go. Maybe my mom can continue making this. So full disclosure, this is my first ever project of this kind. I've never done a scrapbook, especially not of like this magnitude. To me, it was kind of an interesting project, going back through all of my external drives and Simon's external drives and Facebook and Instagram, and trying to find pictures that are good enough quality to print, but also, you know, they're saying something. They're like representative of what I was doing, like, you know, 7 years ago. And you know, at some points it wasn't the most pleasant thing ever, because I'm not sure if you have it the same way. You can let me know in the comments below. But personally, when I look at pictures from, you know, 7-8 years ago, it just kind of reminds me of like all the dumb stuff I used to do. I don't know, like, on one hand, you know, it makes you think, okay, yeah, I made some strides, you know, I got better, I am a leveled up person now because I am a bit better than I used to be 8 years ago. But at the same time, it just kind of like puts your brain into the mindset of, oh my god, this like people had to deal with me 8 years ago, oh my god, that I got this cringe, Well, anyway, I feel like I'm talking a lot. Let's have a look what stuff I actually used. So first of all, we have the album, again, TK Maxx, about 22 pages. The pages are really thick, which I like because there was definitely no bleeding through. Next up, this is a little cute cube of tiny little origami papers, and I'm pretty sure you can get these in many different prints and from many different places. This specific cube is from Japanese seller on Amazon. There's 30 different prints. They are all very traditional. I think it was like 8 quid for the whole thing, but you can tell that there's a lot of them. Next up, these Kita pre-cut washi tapes. I'm pretty sure that most of these I bought in Japan, and maybe 1 or 2 I might have gotten in Edinburgh. There's a shop, you might know it from one of my previous videos, it's called Curiouser and Curiouser, and they also sell some of the Kita sets. These babies are scrapbook paper sample packs. You probably know that unless you find one on offer or in TK Maxx, the proper scrapbook paper pads can be quite pricey. Like, I'm pretty sure that especially the larger ones are, you know, happily being sold for about 10 quid, maybe even more. But I did find some sellers on eBay who are willing to send you a sample pack, which means that basically instead of the whole pad, you're gonna get like 1 paper out of each print, which for me was more than enough. Oh yeah, stickers baby. You probably know that I own a huge collection of stickers, and apart from using them in my planner, I don't have that much use for them. Maybe sometimes for like sending letters to my friends, stuff like that. Yeah, but for this specific thing, they were perfect. I try to mostly use the sheets that I've used before, just so I don't have to like start a new one, but I obviously, you know, threw out the process, I did have to go back to my proper stash, and I did use some of the stickers that I was trying to like save for later. I realized that there's no point in that. Now, photo corners. These I believe also are mostly from AliExpress, and these saved my butt. Unlike the washi tapes from AliExpress, these actually have a really good holding power. Ooh, and the star of the show, the photos, obviously. These were all purchased through a company called Snapfish. Basically, the main thing I've learned from this whole creative process was that if you want to do this, just prep. So I got these little paper envelopes, and I've organized the photos by theme and year, and kind of like roughly as I wanted them to sit in the spreads. Then for markers, I chose this big set of Pentel art markers, which come in a lot of colors. The marker I ended up using the most is this Pentel Touch brush pen, which is currently my favorite, basically inking pen, and I use it for everything from, you know, my bullet journal to my drawings, and of course my humongous collection of washi tapes. You probably remember a lot of these from my AliExpress hauls. Some of them I also got in Japan this last year when I went with Petra. I very rarely actually use them, so once again, similarly to the stickers, I felt very fulfilled being able to use these in an actual creative project. And at the end of that long process, which surprisingly didn't even mess up my bag this time, I'm here with this cutesy little bow. And yeah, you can see here it has this thing on the inside, and there's definitely spreads that I like more than others. I had the most fun making the Japan spreads just because I did purchase the special paper, and I was really happy to have an actual good reason to use that, you know. Also, a lot of my washi tapes are Japanese themed, so that was fun as well. This one is about me making this. This is about YouTube. That's very self-centric. This is all of these like very Instagrammable pretty pictures of myself. And then there's, you know, special Halloween spread. Just like, you know, cute little social interactions and my costumes throughout the years, and the zombie land in there. Really living the Eastern European stereotype. My first Halloween here. I'm trying to kind of step away from that now. To recap what I've learned from this process, I would say that I was definitely having the most fun working with the Pentel touch pen, which is currently my favorite brush pen. It's quite a rigid brush pen, so you know, it's more of a, honestly, I would say that it's more of a like a marker with a bit of a give. Like it's somewhere between a classic marker and a brush pen rather than just a brush pen. Ugh. Those retail for like $2.70 in Britain, so don't do that with them. Anyway, I thought I would sort of add some more sort of a pop of a color by using these, which are also Pentel, and they're Pentel Arts, and I got these at TK Maxx for 13 quid, but I think that all over the internet you can get these for 13 quid as well. Overall, I found that those were kind of bleedy. They just didn't really work for this particular project and this particular quality of paper. But then again, like the other Pentel was writing beautifully on this paper, so I don't know what the issue was with these. Also, I think that just for my taste they're a bit too bright and vivid. Another thing is I was constantly thanking my past self for doing some organization kind of beforehand. So first of all, that would be the pictures, you know, going through the pictures and putting some little post-it notes on them and deciding like which one goes where and like what are they, kind of like putting them together by theme. I would also go through the little origami papers, you know, for my Japan spreads, and then by color kind of like combine a couple of the papers together and also combine those with washi tapes also by color, kind of to, you know, be complementary to each other. That did save some time for me. I think that I was making things a bit harder for myself by shooting it. If I wasn't doing it, and maybe if I was like working on a larger space, that would work great. But for me, if I shoot something, I basically have to do it here, because like I have that little like a clamp that's kind of like goes like boop boop, and then it sits above me, which kind of takes up space, and it makes me a bit less mobile when I'm like rummaging through my stuff. So that's that really for me. Hopefully this was a learning experience for you, just as it was for me. Again, this was the first time for me doing this. I didn't do like massive amount of research. I wanted this to look quite like handmade and not too polished, because that's how my mom always does hers. Personally, I would say that I'm like 95% happy with how this turned out. It's really close to how I imagined it in the start, and to be honest, it was amazing having a good opportunity to use quite a lot of the stationery that I have here. I mean, you guys know that I own like, you know, hundreds of washi tapes and probably also hundreds of sheets of stickers, and having a project where I can use both of those was quite satisfying, because I felt less like, oh well, I just wasted my money on stuff I never use, and now I got to make a present out of it. That's the best way of using anything. If you spotted any lipstick on my teeth throughout this video, please let me know in the comments below. I will not be able to do anything about it, but at least maybe I made this more exciting for you by adding like an element of gamification. That's me for now, and I will see you soon in another videos from Japan.